Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to say deep from my heart, thank you very much for your continued support. I just realized this morning that we had hit the 12,000 mark in terms of subscription. Whenever there is a smoke, there is always fire. When smoke is coming on top of the house, it means someone is cooking inside. So what is cooking? There are reports that Raila Odinga met with Moses Masika Wetangula, who is the Ford Kenya party leader, for a breakfast meeting today in the morning. But then, around 10, Moses Wetangula responded through his Twitter page, saying that there was no such meeting between him and Raila Odinga. This is coming at a point or at a time when Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is being so categorical that they have struggled all along with the Wetangula since the days in 2013 when they were all in the CORD coalition. They went through the tear gas experience together, and of course Kalonzo Musyoka kept on insisting that if there is someone that needed to be with the Azimio team, then that is none other than Moses Masika Wetangula. I am on this record saying that Moses Wetangula is just in that coalition of Kenya Kwanza by coincidence and for convenience. This is because I am very sure that Mudavadi called Wetangula on 23rd in the morning that his guest of honor in the Bomas of Kenya event was going to be William Samoei Ruto. This meeting is coming at a point where Raila Odinga's presidential strategy team, led by Makau Mutua, Nderetu Murithi, and CSK Macharia, have been doing meetings and trying to poach other leaders from the other regions that can also support Azimio la Umoja. President Uhuru Kenyatta is heading to Bungoma, and Raila Odinga is also heading to the larger Western. So the talk of Wetangula joining is something that is going to be very interesting for them, and especially for the Azimio fraternity. So when I heard of this, my question was, do Raila Odinga need Moses Wetangula? Yes. The talks of Wetangula joining Azimio, do they have an implication on Kenya Kwanza? Yes. So we want to look at that. But let me tell you something. I know it might be far-fetched, but the truth of the matter, and I've always mentioned in this channel, that Moses Wetangula just got himself in Kenya Kwanza as a matter of convenience and coincidence. It was a coincidence that Mudavadi was making an alliance with Ruto, and he was Mudavadi's friend. So even in the power sharing deal, if you look at it critically, Wetangula is not really part of that deal. Now, let me borrow something from one thing I've been discussing with our friends from Gema. That the leaders in, and I just want to use this analogy to explain why Wetangula would make a move to Azimio. It is believed that the leaders in Jubilee are the ones that are going against the grain by not being in UDA. Now, by Moses Wetangula being in Kenya Kwanza and Mudavadi, they were seen to be going against the grain. So if they make a move to this Azimio side, it will be a move that will not really have a backlash in the communities. So let's look at what could be the interpretation of this. Ladies and gentlemen, first I want to request you, please subscribe to our channel and also click the notification bell, the bell just above the subscription button, and also like our videos. With this, you're also going to help us to improve on this channel. Number one, Raila wants to sort Bungoma and Trans Nzoia counties. The truth of the matter, even if you look at elections of 2013 and 2017, Bungoma and Trans Nzoia have really been on the other side of Jubilee. Raila Odinga enjoys fanatical support in Busia, Kakamega, and parts of Vihiga. But with Wetangula on Kenya Kwanza, he's actually losing a chunk from Bungoma and Trans Nzoia. Remember, at some point, I think in 2015, Wetangula even lost his seat and went to a by-election, and it took the intervention of Raila Odinga and the court team to go and campaign for him there so that he could get that position. So I want to believe that that will be the point. Number two, Raila might have realized that Wetangula have a soft spot for joining Azimio. And Wetangula was likely to join under invitation of Kalonzo Musyoka. Because what Kalonzo Musyoka really wants, why Kalonzo wants Wetangula in Azimio, is because Wetangula wants a situation where these leaders are put in one room and they're told, we are choosing Raila Odinga's running mate, let's vote or let's get a consensus. When Wetangula joins that team, most likely Wetangula will now voting for Kalonzo Musyoka to be Raila Odinga's running mate. Someone was telling me the other day that Kalonzo is the kind of leader who can say, let's lock ourselves in a room now, let's vote. Who is going to be Raila Odinga's running mate? Then he will run with the majority. So Raila might have reached to Wetangula having known that from Kalonzo Musyoka that Wetangula have a soft spot, or rather is not feeling very convinced or not feeling very comfortable on the other side. Another interpretation of this smoke is Wetangula move from Kenya Kwanza will actually deflate William Ruto. It will deflate the Kenya Kwanza ball because the politics of perception is there. Remember, this is a team that have been concentrated around Ruto, Mudavadi, Wetangula. And Wetangula and Mudavadi are some of the key principles. And if you see like the way they have been doing the imaging and seeing their posters, these are the three fellas that have been there and now vouched as the principles. Now, if you snatch one of those principles, it's something that is going to deflate that team. And of course, Raila will need Wetangula, and it will have the perception value, added perception value on Raila. Not only that, but also I think Wetangula will sneak in, or rather maybe now try to divulge some of the top secrets and or the strategies that are the other side. Now this rumor vindicates my point, and I think fellas, you might have bumped on this. I once said somewhere that William Ruto do not trust Moses Masika, Wetangula. They don't trust Wetangula. Wetangula can make this move. I may not be shocked. This he can make. And so, Raila maybe is trying to deflate the Kenya Kwanza team. Now, lastly, some other aspect is this. DAPK is giving ODM a run for their money. The person who made DAPK what it is Raila Odinga. Remember the Ford Kenya party that Wetangula has, the founder of that party was Raila's father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, and some other people. Remember, the founders of that party is Jaramogi Oginga Odinga and Kenneth Matiba and Kijana Wamalwa, the team. So that party first, it belonged to Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga remained with the shell of that party. So when they tried now to meddle with it a bit, it didn't see the light of the day. Then Raila now said, to counter the ANC and Ford Kenya, he formed the DAPK. But then the DAPK again, I think it overdid its mandate. I think it's now taking more than what it was to chew. And now ODM might even feel uncomfortable because today in the morning, Wamunyinyi and I think another gentleman, I think it is Eseli Simi or someone, who are actually appointed as chairman, I think party leader and the secretary general of the party, were missing in the list of leaders of DAPK. So even DAPK, it's already deflating. Now, the Moses Wetangula coming back Wetangula will not be welcomed by the DAPK team. But if Wetangula joins Azimio, then Wetangula's party Ford Kenya is going to fight with DAPK, and just through that, ODM might find a route. Remember yesterday, Raila met with a host of some leaders who had defected to DAPK, and they joined ODM, including Tindi Mwale. So the party politics in Western and party supremacy in Western might also inform why Raila is going for Moses Masika Wetangula. And this can be a point because, again, DAPK, you remember the patron is Eugene Wamalwa, and Eugene Wamalwa is the president, is with the President Uhuru Kenyatta the other side. So it's not, the Raila team maybe is not trusting that party fully. Lastly, this will be a long route to isolate Mudavadi. Now, what will be Mudavadi's options if Wetangula leaves Kenya Kwanza and join Azimio? Mudavadi will be isolated, he will remain there alone, and will have no option but to think twice. It is not, I mean, this politics of 2022 is very different, ladies and gentlemen. Very different. You may be shocked that people maybe you see the other side, cross over, and this other people you think are very strong on this Azimio side, cross over and join the other side. But if you look at the kind of messaging and the branding Azimio is doing, Moses Wetangula belongs to that other side. And they can approach even Wetangula using Martha Karua, because Martha Karua and Wetangula were really close back then in the days, I think from 2002 all the way to 2013, even when Wetangula now joined the CORD coalition. So this is something that is a possibility, but ladies and gentlemen, you can also help us understand, do you think Raila needs Wetangula? And what will Wetangula bring on board?